Good evening once again. My name is Anodiong and I welcome you all back to the YouTube channel. Now today I wanted to solve the fourth problem on flywheels. Now the question reads, the turning moment diagram of a flywheel fitted to a fictitious engine. Of course, this is actually a fictional, more or less like torque produced by an turning moment diagram of an engine, of a fictitious engine, because this particular turning moment can never be for a real engine. Yes, so that is quite understandable over there. So the turning moment diagram of a flywheel fitted to a fictitious engine is shown. The mean turning moment is 2000 Newton meter. The average engine speed is 1000 RPM. The fluctuation in speed is within plus or minus 2% of the average speed. The mass moment of inertia of the flywheel is dash. So we have to find the mass moment of inertia of the flywheel. Now this is quite simple because we already know how to find the fluctuation of an engine, and this particular maximum fluctuation is what will be stored by the flywheel. Now we know the relationship between the maximum engine fluctuation and the moment of inertia, or the polar moment of inertia, or the mass moment of inertia. This is the relationship. So this is quite simple. Now I think we have the mean speed in RPM, so we can find it in radian per second, and that is 2 pi n divided by 60. So 2 pi multiplied by 1000 divided by 60, and what do we get? So we end up getting let me punch it on the calculator, sorry. Let me punch it on the calculator. So we have 2 pi multiplying 1000 divided by 60. So we have 100 over 3 pi radian per second, or in decimal you can also say 104 104.719 radian per second. That is it. So we have the mean speed in radian per second. Now, do we know CS? Yes, we know CS. Now, there's one thing I have to realize. Now, we've been given the fluctuation in speed within some particular range, that is plus or minus 2% of the average speed. So to find the minimum speed, it is just what? It is just the minimum is actually going to be 2% of, that is the average speed. So when you find 2% of the average speed, when deducted from the average speed itself, that is your minimum speed. When you find 2% of the average speed, and that particular value, when deducted from the average speed, will give you when added to the average speed, will give you the maximum speed. That is it. So here, for when you are given such a range, then your CS will be what? Your total fluctuation in speed will be what? It will just be 2 times of this. So you are just going to have 2 times of X percent. 2 times of X percent. That is if X is the range of speed fluctuation given. That is it. That is it. So here we are going to have 4%. We are going to have 4%. That's it. So I think we have every single data penned down. We are to find the maximum fluctuation for such an engine. So how do we do it? I think I've already described this. That is when you have a multi-cylinder engine and you have to find the fluctuation. How is it done? Now, as I said, you first select this particular point, the origin. Down, the energy there will be represented by, say, a variable E. So let the energy at O be equal to, say, E. That is simple. Now, if the energy at O is E, what will be the energy at A? What will be the energy at A? So the energy at A will be E minus the what? Minus the that is the energy here. And this particular energy fluctuation is a negative energy fluctuation, right? It's a negative energy fluctuation. Why are we saying this? Because you can clearly see at this particular point, at this within this particular region, there was no energy produced by the engine. In fact, energy was actually used. Energy was actually used by the engine to work against the external load, which is this constant torque, which was given in the question to be 2000 Newton meter, right? Yes, yes. So the energy at A, so E subscript A will be what? Will be the energy at E minus A1, minus A1. So E minus A1. Now, what is A1? We can go ahead to find A1. A1, for this particular area, it looks exactly like the area of a rectangle. So it will be the length times the width. Now, what is the length? What is the length? The length is pi on 2 along the radian axis, or if I should say the crank angle axis. It is pi on 2. This particular interval is pi over 2 multiplied by this particular dimension. What are we getting? This particular interval as well is 2000 minus 1500. So we are getting 500 multiplied by, is it 1500? Yes, 1500. So 2000 minus 1500, we have 500 multiplied by the interval here, which is pi on 2. That is quite simple. So let us do that. So it will be E minus pi on 2 times 500. We end up getting E minus 250 pi. That is the energy at A. Now, what is the energy at B? This one is also quite simple. It is just going to be the interval here. That is, this looks exactly like a rectangle. So the area of a rectangle. So the interval here is pi minus half pi, and that will be half pi. Pi minus half pi is half pi. So half pi multiplied by this dimension, and this particular dimension is along the torque axis. So this particular dimension will be what? 3000 minus 2000, and that is 1000. So we have half pi multiplied by 1000. So we have half pi multiplied by 1000. So it will be energy at A, and that fluctuation is a positive fluctuation. So energy at A plus half pi multiplied by 1000. Yes, multiplied with was 3000 minus 2000 multiplied by 1000. So 1000. So you are going to get EA, and EA is what? You already know EA, which is E minus 250 pi. So EA plus, that is 500 pi. So we end up getting E plus 250 pi. That is the energy at B. That is the energy at B. Now, what is the energy at C? What is the energy at C? This is also simple. Now, the area here is actually a negative energy fluctuation. So meaning energy wasn't produced by the engine during that particular period, but rather energy was used by the engine to work against the external load, which was the constant 2000 Newton meter torque. Yes, and this particular dimension will be what? 3 3 over 2 pi minus pi gives you half pi. So half pi multiplied by this particular dimension along the torque axis, what do we have? We have 2000 minus 1000. And what do we get? 1000. So that particular area So the energy at C will be energy at A minus 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 A3. And A3 will be half pi multiplied by 1000. Half pi multiplied by 1000. So what do we get? We end up getting E plus 250 pi minus, this gives us 500 pi. So energy at C will be, E minus 250 pi. Now energy at D will be energy at C plus this and fluctuation. This is a positive fluctuation. That's the reason why I said plus. So energy at C plus this energy fluctuation, and it is actually the area of this particular rectangle. The area of this rectangle will be, that is the dimension along the crank angle axis, and that is going to be 2 pi minus 3 over 2 pi, and that will be half pi. So half pi multiplied by this dimension along the torque axis, and that is going to be 2500 minus 2000, that is 500. So E at D will be E at C plus the area A4, and that is, as I said, it will be 500 times half pi, 500 times half pi. So what are we getting? We end up getting E minus 250 pi, which E minus 250 pi is the energy at C plus 250 pi plus 250 pi, and that will be E. Yeah, so I think there's actually a mistake in this particular problem. So let me neglect this area is actually not part. Yes, this area is not part. I'm sorry for the I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but this particular area, please ignore, kindly ignore. It's actually not part. Yes, it's actually not part. Now, so we have the various energies. So to find our maximum energy fluctuation, that will be stored by the flywheel. It is going to be, that is the maximum energy minus the minimum energy. And when you check which of these energies is maximum, now we can clearly see that the maximum energy will be, let me check. So EA is E minus 250, EBE plus 250 pi, ECE minus and ED. So I think it is EB is the maximum, which is E plus 250 pi. So E plus 250 pi, this is the maximum. And so let me write it well here. E max minus E min, and E plus 250 pi is the maximum, and the minimum energy. What is the minimum energy? The minimum energy here is E minus 250 pi. That is the minimum energy we can get. And that is possessed at, that occurs at point A and point C. So E minus 250 pi. What do we get? We end up getting 250 pi plus 250 pi, which is 500 pi. That is the energy we have, 500 pi Newton meter. That is it. As simple as that. So now we can go ahead to find our moment of inertia since we know the relationship between moment of inertia and the energy fluctuation. So we have I is equal to the energy fluctuation divided by omega squared. Now we already know omega squared, which is, what did we get for omega? We had 100 over 3 pi radian per second. So let me write. So we have 500 pi Newton meter divided by 100 over 3 pi radian per second multiplied by CS. Now what is CS? As I said, it was given to us in a range. But to find CS, you just multiply by 2 to get it in percentage. Now since it is in percentage, to get it in the actual value, just divide by 100 and that will be 0.04. So we are going to have times 0.04 and we end up getting 3.58 kilogram meter squared. That is it. That is it. So that is all for this problem. It is simple. So first and foremost, what do you have to do? What do you have to do? Now you first state the relationship between the energy fluctuation and I. We're asked to find I. Now I can find the energy fluctuation of a multi-cylinder engine. That is all we've just done, right? That is all. So I think I'll end the class here and we'll continue in the next tutorial video. Have a wonderful evening.